This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we did until controlling area. There are few more settings remaining. After that, we will be verifying whether everything is fine with our company code, or if there are any settings that are left over. We need to make sure there is something called consistency check. We need to make sure there is something called consistency check. So before I proceed with the further settings, we'll talk about company code baseline configuration consistency check. Now this is a new feature in S4HANA system. In ECC there is nothing called consistency check, but in S4HANA you will find something called consistency check to make sure whether your settings related to your company code baseline configuration are properly defined or not, whether there are any inconsistencies, whether there are any missing settings. System will verify and it will tell us. For you to verify this consistency check, we need to go to SPRO. This is very important, especially when you're practicing. Sometimes you will not understand what settings are missing. It is always better if you come to financial accounting. Inside the financial accounting, go to financial accounting global settings. From the financial accounting global settings, let us open ledgers. If you open the ledgers, inside the ledger, there is a setting called execute consistency check for general ledger setting. Your company code must pass this consistency check, only then entries are allowed. If your company code is not passing this consistency check, entries are not allowed. Click on this. When you click on this, this is executed at overall. This is executed at overall client level. When I'm talking about this is executed at overall client level, this is validating or this is verifying all the company codes that are created in this server so far. If you look at anything related to our company code, let me click on find here. I'll put star BMW. I'm just typing star BMW so that wherever BMW is there, maybe at the beginning or the end or during the sentence, it will pick it. If I click on check, hit a displayed one, there is some error. It is telling the document splitting is active in company code. This is one BMW, not our company code. Yeah, this is our company code. Document splitting is active in company code 9PBI. Activate profit center accounting in controlling area 9BMW. Like this, system will start telling you what settings you are missing as part of baseline configuration. It is not that straight away you will complete the config. In case if something is going wrong, we have to be in a position to go and verify the consistency check, understand the consistency check errors. Accordingly, we have to know where you need to go, what settings are missing, how these settings are to be enabled. It is not based on finding a error, solving the error. You have to understand how this error is related to your company code. You have to understand how this error is related to your company code. For that to understand, you have to understand what is your company code first and what is your org structure. How did you define your company code? According to your company code, what settings we have made and what is this error related to? This error is related to activate profit center accounting. We have decided that we will be using profit centers, but did we activate profit centers anywhere? If yes, where did we do it? How did we do it? If we already did profit center activation, why this error is coming? Like that you have to think. When you're thinking in that way, you will start understanding the connecting points. I did this setting already, but still I am facing error, which means the way I did my settings is not correct. In that case, how should I have done the configuration where I am missing? These points we need to understand, especially at the beginning, so that tomorrow you complete your baseline configuration, assuming I am doing my baseline configuration and you are able to do your configuration without any error. Now when I am doing, I am facing some errors. I know that you have already completed your configuration. I will I will be asking you to help me out. I am facing this particular error. Can you help me? Now, when I ask your help to help me fixing the particular problem, you have to understand this error. You have to understand this error. Your answer cannot be that no, I did not get this error when I'm practicing. Fine, you did it without any error, but when somebody is getting an error on it, whether you are able to understand the problem, whether you are able to solve the problem without googling. If you google it, you will get the solution. Please be on mute. Anjaneyulu. Okay, if you are able to solve the problem without googling, then your understanding is correct. Whether you are able to resolve the issue or not is always secondary. Do not consider about, do not think when you work on something whether the solution is coming or not. It is always secondary. Check whether you are able to understand, whether you are able to think from the problem point of view or not, right? Because not everything we can resolve in a single day. Nobody can resolve everything in a single day. It takes time based on the nature of issues, right? Something may be straight away, something may be tricky, complicated. For certain kind of errors, issues, we will not be able to resolve it. We will approach SAP for it. You will be approaching SAP also for certain errors, because you will not be able to understand why the error is coming. You would have done the total thorough research, even on Google, nowhere you found the solution. You will reach out to SAP. There are certain errors which are program related, product related, for which SAP will be releasing something called note. There is something called SAP note. What SAP note will talk about? There are certain functionality related errors for which SAP will give a release note, or SAP will release some SAP note. In that, they will tell, when you get these kind of errors, when you have these kind of requirement, please configure the system in this way, or please make some fine tunings, workarounds in this way. So it is not that all the time you sit and break your head. You have to think from if there are any SAP note for this. How do you find SAP note for it? First of all, what is SAP note? Slowly, these points we have to start understanding. Okay, slowly we have to start understanding these points, which will help us see a problem, which will help us look at an error in a different way. Right now, this is what we are looking at. We are looking at standard errors which are related to our company code. Point number one, this is the transaction code that system is displaying. FINS underscore CUST underscore CONS underscore CO underscore CHK. Check. This is the transaction code in which you can check the consistency. But here it is giving all the company codes. Here it is giving all the company codes, but my requirement, my intention is to look at the consistency check only for my company code. It is very difficult for me to scroll down, find out what is mine and all. Now, if I know the transaction code, which will provide the data for a particular company code, fine. If not, how do I find? If not, how do I find? Majoritarily, what will happen? Some transaction codes we will remember only half. Some T codes we will remember only half. The remaining half we will not remember. Now I know this T code, but I want to know what is if there are any other transactions related to this. Now to check a transaction, there is a transaction code. This is a transaction code. To see the transaction code, there is one more transaction code. To see any transaction code, this is very, very important. You have to open SE93. T code, if you open SE93, this will open the transaction code screen. This will open transaction code screen. If I try to put, let's say, F dash. If I put F dash, you will get the list of transaction codes which are starting from F dash. I don't have to go Google and all. If I put here, system will start giving me the data like this. If I go to, let's say, OBC, it is giving there are so many transactions, OBC1, C2, C3, C4 and all. Similarly, there is one transaction which is this FINS underscore CUST underscore. I'll put FINS underscore CUST Okay, let me open this transaction code FINS underscore CUST underscore CONS underscore CHK underscore P. Okay, I'll tick P. This is the transaction code. If you wanted to execute this T code, you will find an icon called test, the second icon. You will find this icon called test. You need to click on this test here. Let me click on test. When I click on test, it is asking you to give your company code. When you click on test, it is asking you to give the company code. In short, this transaction code is executed. Okay, let me copy this transaction code. I'll put this here. This is the T code. Okay, this is the transaction code for your consistency check. Let me copy this T code. Now the remaining settings you are not supposed to maintain directly. The reason why we should not maintain directly, if you maintain directly, we do not understand what settings we are making. Whatever we have done so far are the configurations which are standard, straightforward, the way you do it in ECC. Whatever the settings we have done are same, blindly we will do the same settings as it is in ECC also. No further changes in it. And in ECC it will start working, but in S4HANA it will start giving different error messages, because in S4HANA system will verify whether your company code is consistent with the standard validations or with the standard checkpoints provided or predefined in system. To make sure whether your company code is meeting all the consistency checkpoints, you have to open this T code. Okay, run customizing check for specific company code and ledger. You need to just pass your company code 9PBI. Just input your company code, don't fill any other thing, only input your company code, click on execute. You will be receiving error messages. You need to look at the error messages first. First one, correct the customizing setting for the ledger and universal journal. Second one, base ledger, appendix ledger 0C, base ledger, appendix ledger 0E, and company code assigned to extension ledger 0C, company code assigned to extension ledger 0E not found. First point, these things when you look at it, point number one, what we need to do is, according to us, we have only two ledgers. So far, according to our baseline configuration, we have defined only two ledgers. According to our requirement, we are using one leading ledger, one non-leading ledger. Now you need to understand how do you verify ledgers of a particular company code. Next setting, check ledger assignment of a company code. When I say ledger assignment of a company code, we need to know how many ledgers are assigned in your company code. Now in the consistency check, system is telling there are different other ledgers. 0C it is talking, 0E it is talking, which is nowhere related to us. We have not even created this. So far we have not even talked about this ledger, but your company code is talking about these ledgers. To check what ledgers are there, you cannot check this through transaction code. You have to open this through a table. Now, point number one, to view a table, let me put T code. Okay, this is the T code. Now for this, there will be no T code. I'm not writing any T code here. To your table, this is your SE16N. SE16N is the transaction code to check the table. Now let me go to SE16N. SE16N is the transaction code to verify the table. Let me put SE16N. When I put SE16N, this is what I am able to get. The way you have the transaction code, similarly you will be having a table code or a table name. Right? You have to understand how do you verify the ledger assignment to a company code, for which there is a table. I think this one. This is the table. If I press enter, ledger for company code. So what I'll do, this is the table. So in bracket, I'll put, this is table name, not the transaction code. This is table name. So understand, when you're looking at this sheet, do not put this as T code. This is a table name. To view a table, you need to go to SE16N and you need to pass this table name here. So I will just input, I'll put this screenshot here. I will put my company code here, 9PBI. I will put my company code 9PBI. Let me click on execute. When I put my company code, when I click on execute, I am getting ledgers like this. According to our requirement, we have created only two ledgers. One is leading ledger 0L, the other one is non-leading ledger B9. Only these two are our ledgers. The first two, 0C, 0E, are not related to us. 0C, 0E are not related to us. You must be in a position to understand why these ledgers are coming. If these are not related to you, you are not supposed to have these ledgers for your company code. You need to go and remove them. I'll come back. I'll place this screenshot so that you will understand how to run this particular table. Now from here, whatever you are doing, you have to be more conscious, more careful, because we are not just like that configuring the system. We are trying to understand different parameters. SE16 and general table display. This is how you will get, and you need to input your company code alone. Okay, I'll put this screenshot here. Just reduce this. Okay, this is how you will input your data, 9PBI. And when you click on output, click on execute or press F8. When you do it, you will get this. This is your execute icon. This is the execute button or F8. Whenever we talk about execute, this is the icon you will get anywhere. Click on execute. This is how you are getting the output. Let me place this output also in the Excel sheet. Now, when you complete your configuration of your company code baseline, you must verify all these points. Don't just like that configure without verifying this. Okay, here we need to make sure only our ledgers are appearing. Okay, if any additional ledgers are appearing, we need to manually remove them from FINSC underscore ledger T code. Okay, so if any additional ledgers are appearing, we need to remove them manually from FINSC underscore ledger T code. Now, as per our requirement, we have to first understand what ledgers we are going to create. Is my voice coming? Others, can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
Okay, you need to rejoin, Ajay. Okay, can somebody put a message in that chat to rejoin those who is not getting the voice? Okay, if any additional ledgers are appearing, we need to manually remove them from the FINSC underscore ledger T code. Now, according to our requirement, we are using two ledgers. One is leading ledger The other one is non-leading ledger. Leading ledger is standard in SAP, which is always 0L. 0L is already appearing, which is correct. Second one is the non-leading ledger. According to our requirement, we have created a non-leading ledger called B9. We have created a non-leading ledger called B9. B9 is also appearing. So as per our requirement, it should show only two ledgers against our company code. One is 0L, the other one is B9. But there are two more additional ledgers which are coming. They are 0C, 0E. These are not related to us. You have to remove the assignment. You have to remove the assignment from these ledgers related to your company code. For that, go to FINSC underscore ledger T code. So I'll open one more screen. FINSC underscore ledger. In this transaction code, FINSC underscore ledger, you will be updating your company code ledgers, at the same time your company code currencies. Enter. Continue. So first one that you are getting is, what is the first one? 0C, 0E. 0C is one ledger, 0E is another ledger. This is your 0C ledger. Select 0C ledger, okay, and double click on company code settings. Continue. In this, there are many company codes. Come and remove your company code from this. This is your company code. This ledger is not related to us. Our company code is not supposed to be inside this. I'll delete this company code. Delete only your company code. Don't delete others' company code. Click on save. Now these kind of errors, whatever we are getting, will not come in the real environment, because somebody created this ledger. When they copied this ledger while creating, it will copy ledger along with all the existing company codes. That is the reason. 0C we removed. Let me go back one level. Now if I do a refresh in the table, once I removed this 0C, let me go to table. Currently there are 4 records, 4 ledgers are coming. Let me refresh the table. For refreshing the table, you have this icon, refresh on the top left. Click on refresh or F8. Click on refresh. When I click on refresh, the 0C disappeared. 0C disappeared. And after this, if I come to the consistency check, there is an error message related to 0C, 1 time, 2 time here. Let me come back here and execute the consistency check once again. Now if I execute the consistency check once again, the 2 error messages disappeared from my list. 0C related errors are disappeared now. Now the additional ledger it is talking about is 0E. Let's go to FINSC underscore ledger. 0E. Click on company code settings. Enter. Same thing. Look at the list of company codes inside this. Identify your company code. Our company code is 9PBI. This ledger is not related to our company code. Click on delete. Proceed to save. Continue. Okay, this data is saved now. Now let me go to ledger table. FINSV underscore F4 underscore LDBUKRS. This table name also you have to remember. Let me click on refresh. Now the expectation is only 2 ledgers. Now your company code is representing or reflecting, showing only 2 ledgers. One leading ledger, one non-leading ledger. This is as per our requirement. You need to ensure that you will verify these settings frequently, so that if somebody is creating ledger incorrectly, that might create a problem in our company code. Okay, and you have to understand how to check all these points slowly. It's not that we will do the configuration, we will go blindly test practice the data entry, that is not the right way. And next one, let me come to the consistency check screen. In the consistency check screen, let me come back. In this, again I will input my company code. Let me run the consistency check. This time the number of messages are only 3. So first one is correct the customizing setting. Second one is document splitting is active. Activate profit center accounting. So now let me put the next setting. Next setting is activation of profit center accounting. Okay. In S4HANA, or I'll simply put in SAP, if you are using new GL accounting, document splitting is mandatory. In SAP, if we are using new GL accounting, document splitting is mandatory. If we activate document splitting, profit center accounting activation is mandatory. These are all interconnected. In SAP, as you know, document splitting is mandatory because in SAP now there is no concept called classic GL. It's all about new GL. In SAP, it is all about new GL. In S4HANA, the classic GL concept itself is removed. In your SAP S4HANA, it's all about new GL. According to new GL, document splitting is mandatory. According to new GL, document splitting is mandatory. If we activate a document splitting, profit center accounting activation is mandatory. We know that document splitting is mandatory. Splitting method will be 12. According to that, your profit center accounting activation is also mandatory, which we have not yet done. That is the reason system is giving an error. Now, let me put the T code. Profit center accounting activation. This is your 0K E5 is the T code. T code is 0K E5. You'll have to come to 0K E5 to activate profit center accounting. This is not O. You should not get confused. This is your 0. Okay. Now I'll come back to easy access. Let me put the T code 0K E5. When I come here, I am getting a controlling area here. But this is not related to me. And I'm not getting any new entry option here. And I have no option to change controlling area. Point number 1, if you go to menu, this is your menu bar. From the menu bar, if you go to selection or utilities, go to edit, you need to look at all the menu options. You will find set controlling area somewhere. Selection, utilities, system, go to edit, table view. I'm not able to get anywhere this set controlling area or to change controlling area. These are the common things that will happen. Initially, we are not aware how to rectify all these things. You will be stuck at many places. Now I wanted to create it. I am going to 0K E5, but it is not allowing me to edit this controlling area. Our controlling area is 9 BMW. I am unable to put 9 BMW here. Now, in 0k E5, if we are unable to change or edit controlling area, we must set our controlling area by using T code OKKS. In 0k E5, if we are unable to change edit controlling area, we must set our controlling area by using transaction code OKKS. This is not 0k KS, this is OKKS. So in your controlling area, there are certain T codes which will keep on confusing 0 and O. Check with 0 if you are able to see what you are relevant to do it, work on it. If you find I don't think this is not the one, replace 0 with O if you get any confusion. Now what I have to do, since I have no option to edit my controlling area here, I will come back /n. I'll put this T code OKKS. I'll put the transaction code OKKS. Let me hit enter. When I put this OKKS, when I hit enter, this is allowing me to change the controlling area. Point number one that you need to understand here. When you are working in a real environment, one client will have only one controlling area. One client will have only one controlling area. So one time you set it up, it will not allow you to change again, or it will not ask you to change again. There will be no requirement you will change controlling area. For all your company codes, there will be single controlling area. If, especially in your practice system, in case if you are unable to get your controlling area, come to OKKS, remove this, put your controlling area 9 BMW, and when you click on continue for this login, it will be applicable. If you click on save, every time this will be defaulted. Whenever you come to with this login, with this I logged in with Ajay user ID. Whenever I log into the system with Ajay user ID, every time controlling area will be defaulted to 9 BMW, right? Otherwise, in case if it is not yours, you will have to come and change here. I'm not defaulting it. I am going to click on continue. When you click on continue, it will throw you out of the system, out of the screen. Now you open 0k E5. Now let us open 0k E5. Now when I open 0k E5, you will see controlling area is changed to 9 BMW. This is how you need to change. In 0k E5, if your controlling area is not appearing, set your controlling area using OKKS. That will change your controlling area here. Otherwise, you will not be able to edit it. If you are skipping this configuration, the further settings are not possible. Now, once you give this, you need to give something called standard hierarchy. You need to give standard hierarchy. Normally, we will be giving standard hierarchy controlling area underscore PC. You had standard hierarchy for cost center also at the time of your controlling area creation. If I go to OKKP, continue. If I go to 9 BMW here, while we were creating controlling area, we had one more standard hierarchy called CCTR standard hierarchy. This is nothing but cost center standard hierarchy. Hierarchy is nothing but the top node. Whenever you are talking about hierarchy of your cost center, hierarchy of your profit center, cost center hierarchy, profit center hierarchy includes all the cost centers, all the profit center. Okay, hierarchy includes all the cost center. Whatever the cost centers you have under your controlling area, everything will be created under controlling area standard hierarchy. Similarly, whatever the profit centers you have under your controlling area, everything must be created under profit center standard hierarchy. In short, your cost center, profit center standard hierarchy is the top node of your controlling area, profit center, cost center. You cannot avoid this, you must create one. In general, what we will do, you will be providing controlling area underscore CC, which will represent cost center. You can also put any naming convention of your choice, but this is what we normally provide in the real environment also. I'll come out of this. We have seen how we have created standard hierarchy for cost center. In this similar way, in this similar logic, we will be providing 9 BMW. Since that was cost center, I have put CC. As this is profit center, I will put PC. That was cost center underscore CC. This is profit center underscore PC. Next one. There is something called profit center local currency type. What currency you want to use for your profit center? Open the drop down. You will get different currencies here. When you open the drop down, you will get different currencies here. The ideal currency that you will be using here is your group currency. The ideal currency, or even in real time, whatever the currency that we will work on here is group currency. So I will be selecting group currency. Even if I select cost and controlling area currency, your controlling area currency is also set as group currency. So again, I don't want to put controlling area currency here. I will straight away put group currency. Okay, even in real time, majoritarily you will be selecting group currency only. I will be selecting group currency here. When I press enter, this currency type 30 will bring the currency. Let me press enter. When I press enter, group currency dollar is coming and updated here. Okay, this is coming and updating my dollar. After updating this dollar, you need to select valuation. Why are you creating this controlling area activation? This is for legal valuation. This is for group valuation. This is for profit center valuation. We will be majoritarily selecting the legal valuation. We will be selecting this legal valuation. Next one, ALE distribution. We don't use this functionality. Here you need to click on the activate indicator. This is the reason our consistency check was throwing an error. It is telling profit center accounting is not activated. It is telling profit center accounting is not activated because here activate indicator or active indicator is unticked. If this is ticked like this will become active. If this is unticked, this will become inactive. Our error message is talking about activate profit center accounting. It is telling profit center accounting is not activated. Please activate it in order to proceed with your posting. Now, because of this statement, we were talking at the beginning itself, no profit center, no accounting document in SAP. No accounting document without any profit center. You are not even supposed to experiment to post a document without profit center. Don't even try to experiment what will happen if I post without profit center. That scenario itself is wrong. That scenario itself is wrong. The basic consistency check itself will be failed if you are not activating profit center accounting. So forget about profit center posting. Profit center accounting must be active. Okay, now I will be activating this. If you see this here, 2023, this is coming from your controlling area. If I go to controlling area, OKKP, I'll edit the locked entries. I'll open this controlling area 9 BMW. If I click on activate components here you have activated your controlling area valid from 2023 fiscal year. Here we have activated our controlling area from 2023 fiscal year. This from year is what system is picking here. Now your profit center accounting is active from 2023 fiscal year. Just click on this active, proceed to save. Okay, with this your profit center accounting is activated. After activation of profit center accounting, let me come back to the consistency check. Okay, let me run this again. You have to get full green here, no red lights. Currently there are 2 red lights. You have to remove these 2 red lights also. The next one that you are getting is version 0 of controlling area 9 BMW is not assigned to any ledger. Now in finance side, we assumed that whenever you create a company code, ledger 0L is by default assigned. This ledger 0L, we were talking about leading ledger. The way data is stored in a ledger for your finance, in short for your FI module, or at your company code level, similarly there is data on the CO module or controlling area level. Your CO module data, controlling area level data will be stored in the version. It will be stored in version. Standard version is 0. The way you have standard ledger 0L, leading ledger, in the similar way in CO you have standard version called 0. You have to remember these points. If somebody is asking you what is the standard ledger in SAP FI, you must tell without any confusion 0L leading ledger. On the other side, if somebody is asking what is standard version in CO, you have to tell 0 is the standard version in CO. Standard ledger, standard version. FI ledger, CO version must be connected to each other, must be assigned to each other. Only then data from FI to CO or CO to FI will be flown. Okay, this setting is missing. To do this setting, let me go to SPRO. In SPRO, financial accounting. Inside the financial accounting global settings. Inside global settings, you have to open ledgers. Inside the ledger, you have a setting called integration of controlling with financial accounting. This is nothing but CO to FI integration. Open this integration. You will find various settings here. There are different settings here. Let us open one by one. We will understand what settings are relevant, what settings are not relevant. First one, define document type for posting and controlling. Let me open this. This is your normal FI document type screen. This is not relevant for this setting. This setting is not relevant. Second one, document type mapping variant for CO business transaction. Let me open this one. Here also you have something called this one. 0001 is there. And if I go to this mapping of business transaction, for every document type there is a business transaction. Okay, everywhere it is talking about document type CO. This is predefined in SAP. We will not be doing anything for this setting also. First one, second one, no action to be taken, nothing to be configured here. Third one, check and define default value for posting and controlling. Let me open the third one. In this, there is something called company code valid from document type mapping. Let me go to position. I'll try to put our company code 9PBI. If I put this, our company code is not appearing here. Our company code is not appearing here. We need to make sure which document type mapping variant you are going to select. This variant, whatever you are selecting, we need to make sure this is properly assigned. I will come back. Document type mapping variant. This setting you found somewhere here. Document type mapping variant. If I open this, you have got two variants here, two mappings here, whether you want standard one or you want this one. So either of the ones, if I open this, inside this also there are same settings. And if I go back, if I open this, here also there are same settings. Now we will be using standard one, which is your all zeros one. I will go back. Let me open this setting. Define default values for posting and controlling. Tick this. You can click on new entry or you can copy any one existing record. I will click on new entry. Wherever you are not sure how to create an entry, always look at the SAP standard record, which is more or less 0001 or 1000 or 1710. In S4HANA systems, default company code is 1710 or 0001. I will look at how 0001 is created. There is nothing inside. It is just a record. Select any one record. Click on copy. Replace this company code with your company code 9PBI and valid from, you can put old date, that is also fine. You can also put from current fiscal year 2023. Default ledger group. Our default ledger group is always 0L, leading ledger, and put this document mapping variant is 0001. Click on save. Continue. This is one setting that we have made. Next one, if I come back, next one, define ledger for CO version. This is what our error is actually related to. This is optional. When you are actually posting a transaction, system will verify this, but for consistency check, system is looking at this ledger for CO version. Open this. If you open this, you have controlling area. This is CO area, controlling area. Let me go to position. I'll try to pick our controlling area 9 BMW. If I click on continue, nothing is coming. In short, this setting is not available currently. Same thing, if you know, you can directly create. If you are not aware, select the SAP standard company code or SAP standard variant 0001. Look at how setting is maintained for 0001. Simply you can copy, or you can look at how the setting is maintained. In the similar way, you get an idea. Accordingly, you create it. I am going to copy this 0001. I will replace this with our controlling area 9 BMW. Default version or standard version is 0. Default ledger is leading ledger 0L. Press enter. Click on save. Okay. Now this setting also we have done. After verifying this setting, we have to come back to the consistency check. Come to the consistency check, come back one level, click on execute consistency check again. Now if you do the consistency check, you get all green lights and you are able to see check passed. This is mandatory to confirm that your baseline configuration is completed. If you get any red marks, any red lights, any errors, your baseline configuration is not completed properly according to S4HANA system parameters or requisites. Make sure you are able to configure the system and you are able to see only the ledgers that are relevant to your company code. No unwanted irrelevant ledgers are appearing, and no any other messages. Straight away check passed should come. Now what I'll do, I'll put this setting here. Integration of controlling with financial accounting. I'll put this another setting. For this, we had a path, that is your SPRO. Inside SPRO, financial accounting. After financial accounting, we went inside ledgers. I'll put ledgers here. After ledgers, integration of this one, and inside this we have maintained one setting, check and define default values for postings in controlling. This is one setting we did. And the other setting, let me place this screenshot so that when you are defining it, you will have a clarity. 9PBI. I'll just put this screenshot alone so that when you are configuring, okay, I'll place only this our company code relevant screenshot. This is what we have done. And the second setting that we did here, after this we did one more setting, define ledger for CO version. I'll put this setting here. In this, what we did here also, let me select 9 BMW. I'll put this screenshot here. I'll take again. Okay, I'll place this screenshot here. This is what we did here. Okay, only these two settings we did. The remaining settings we have not touched. They are not relevant as of now. When the requirement comes, when we are at that particular scenario, we will work on it. Any irrelevant settings we are not supposed to do at the beginning. If you do irrelevant settings at the beginning, we will never understand why we are making those settings. And when we are come to a particular scenario, it will start working without any additional configuration. We will feel that only these three steps are to be done, but there will be other settings which we would have done at the beginning itself without even knowing that this is how the setting is to be maintained. So that is why we are not maintaining any settings which are not relevant as of now. We will be defining the additional settings. We will discuss about that requirement process and then list out the config steps. After this, finally, we have to do final, what is the consistency spelling? Okay, final consistency check for company code baseline configuration. This is your final consistency check for baseline configuration. T code is somewhere I have already given. Where is it? This is the T code. This T code we need to execute. When you execute this T code, okay, did I put the screenshot of execution? No, I did not put. So I'll put this screenshot here. Not this one. Copy this and I'll place this screenshot here. Okay, this you have to run for your company code. You need to place your company code here. Click on execute. I'll put, click on execute or F8. F8. When you do it, you will get the output. Your output must be like this. Let me click on execute. It must be green like this. No additional things. New. I'll click on this check passed. It has to be like this strictly. Make sure our company code check passed without any errors. Okay, you need to make sure your company code check passes without any error. If there are any errors, your baseline configuration is wrong. If there are any errors, your baseline configuration is wrong. Now till here is considered as your baseline configuration. After that, after this, we will have to perform business process configuration. When we talk about business process configuration, we will be talking about master data, transaction data and all. Like to create a transaction, what master records are relevant. To create a transaction, any other additional settings are to be done. We will be understanding them in a separate discussion. But so far, whatever we have done till here, this must be done. You must be in a position to create a company code, reach till this stage. Now target a time to complete baseline configuration and to pass the consistency check. Maximum 90 minutes. And this must be completed in 60 minutes. When you're practicing, keep these points in your mind. Keep these points in your mind. You have to configure your company code and do the consistency check. Pass the consistency check without any error in 90 minutes. Maximum, I'm telling. Maximum 1.5 hours, you have to complete all the settings that we have done from the last 4-5 sessions. In short, from the last 1 week, whatever we have done is 90-minute effort, 1.5 hour effort. When you sit and practice, if you are spending more than 1.5 hour, create one more company code to make sure you will bring it down to 90 minutes minimum. Sorry, 90 minutes maximum. You are not supposed to take more than 90 minutes. When I'm talking about configuration, I'm talking about configuration after finalizing a KDS document. This is not including KDS document. First, you need to finalize your KDS document. Once your KDS is finalized, once you start company code creation, the moment you log into SAP, you are ensuring that every information is part of your business blueprint and KDS document. From BBP, from KDS, whatever you are configuring, from company code until consistency check should not take more than 90 minutes, and if possible try to bring it to 60 minutes. Within 1 hour you have to create one company code. After this we will be talking about business process configuration. Based on the business process, you have to create master record, you have to create a transaction. Before you create master records, what are the prerequisites, what information you require, how do you collect master data, what are the master data templates, how do you create initial master record. You have to understand, we have to talk about LTMC, migrate your data, LSMW, BDCs. Similarly, when you create the transaction data, before creation of a transaction data, any things we will have to do. There is something called open client activity. There is something called cutover activity. We need to understand what is open client activity, what is cutover activity. After understanding these points, we will have to start working on transaction posting. Not straight away we will post an entry. Before posting an entry, we have to understand several points. Okay, so till here you need to practice. In the next session, which is in the tomorrow's session, we will talk about the business process configuration or proceeding with our company code with respect to our business process, with respect to masters, transactions, cutover, open client activity. Clear? Any questions?
Ajay,
Hello?
I don't mean when you start. What is this version actually? Will tell us when you start controlling.
Yes, version is nothing but the data in controlling will be stored in version. The way you have leading ledger, in a similar way in controlling you have standard version 0.
So what do you mean by means version equal to 1 year period?
No,
Uh,
no, no, no. What do you mean by ledger? What is leading ledger?
it's January to December.
Ledger. January to December is your fiscal year. What is ledger? What is leading ledger? In your accounting, in your FI, any transaction that you post, all your transactions will be recorded at ledger level. Okay, all the transactions will be stored at ledger level. Without ledger, no accounting entry is possible. Similarly, in controlling, all the controlling transactions are recorded at version level. The way you have standard ledger 0L, in the similar way, standard version is 0. These are SAP predefined standard. We have to use same as it is. We have no option to change them. If you want, you can create a non-leading ledger. Similarly, if you want, you can create additional versions in SAP for planning purpose. But those version functionality and all we will be discussing when we are on the controlling module. Okay. Yeah.
Hello,
Fine.
sir.
If there are, yeah, any question?
Sir, in FI, FI and SA underscore ledger, and that I'm getting error. Can you go to system, sir?
Ledger screen.
Yeah, ledger and currency level. In the conversion level, uh, second company code level, I'm unable to getting the exchange rate and translation levels. So I deleted
Second setting or
actually.
third setting?
Third one, conversion setting for company code.
Okay.
Company
Okay. When
code, can you
you
add new
add
entry?
it again, when you add it again, you just send me the screenshot. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So in yeah, that exchange rate and those levels is getting empty.
Okay. You add it again, and that error message, you either send it to me or put it in the group. Put it in the group better so that others also will understand why that error is coming.
It's not error, so it's not error. So just empty is coming.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm not doing it now, because if I do it, the others will get confused. I'm not doing it now for that reason. Once we cross this, once everybody configures, I'll open it so that it will not create confusion.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir, when you say practice within 30, 60 minutes or 90 minutes, like we have to remember all the steps and T codes and we'll do, or we have to refer your Excel sheet and we have to practice how to proceed like.
Whatever the way you do it, I am only concerned about your timing. If you look at my Excel sheet, if you do it, definitely you cannot do it in 90 minutes or 60 minutes. Half of the time will go in referring my Excel sheet, correct? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Scroll up, scroll down. So you have to take the extract of that Excel sheet to do the configuration. Take another Excel sheet, write down what settings we have done. Go to Excel sheet top from the company code setting. And in between, we have listed out a lot of theory points, right? Related to
Yes.
that particular screen. What you do, take only the configuration steps. Create company, company code, assignment, chart of account, fiscal year, posting period, field status variant, tolerances, okay, your tax procedure, controlling area, document splitting, whatever we have, list out in the same sequential order. And wherever you have T code, put the T code. Wherever there is a IMG path, write down the IMG path. Look at it 2-3 times. Look at it 2-3 times, and then first one, see if you are able to configure without looking at anything. Like, in your mind, it has to get registered in such a way. The moment you start your company code, you know what settings are to be done in the what sequential order. Nothing to be excluded. Like, you cannot create a company code without non-leading ledger. You cannot ignore additional currencies. Do not think that this is the practice purpose. I will add a non-leading ledger later on. I will add my additional currency later on, because if I add, it is consuming more time. Don't nothing doing. Whatever the setting we have done, everything has to be as it is created in one go without any error. So until you reach that level, practice. This is only the baseline configuration. After that, there's no point that you will sit on practice. So you're not supposed to practice whenever you're preparing for your interview, whenever you're understanding, trying to make other points familiar. Make sure you will not start your practice with this point. Most of the people will commit the same mistake. Look at anyone whoever is preparing for the interview and all, they will start from the company code every time they want to revise. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So every time they wanted to practice, they will start from company code, chart of account, fiscal year. You will sit so energetically. The moment you come to the baseline ending, you will say that let me take a break. You will never cross that boundary. You are always within that baseline. That is because we are not clear on it. So you have to create, make sure even if you configure it, maximum 90 minutes and try to bring it down to 60 minutes. Okay, if it requires for you to understand everything in a sequential order, 3 company codes, create 3 company codes. Maximum it is going to take one day, not beyond one day, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's a one day effort for you to become perfect, to understand everything in a proper manner, sequential order, with respect to your baseline configs. Spend one day, hardly 4 or 5 hours, you will be perfect in it. You don't have to look back. All you are going to look at it is only on the configurations, business process, business requirement.
Okay, sir.
Clear, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So if required, what you do in your Excel sheet, try to do like this. If everybody is good at Excel sheet, try to put something like, you put only whatever the way you understand. You put company code, define company, define, let's say, company code like this, and assign company code to company. And what you do here is you put T code, you put transaction T code, and again you put T code test, you put result here. Okay, these two you put additionally, and this way you will also improve your Excel sheet. And put this a different color. First you put the original transaction code path, whatever it is. What is the T code for company? What is the transaction code?
OS 16, OS 16.
15.
OX15.
15.
Right.
OX 15, sir.
For company code 02, for the assignment 16. These are the transaction codes. Next one, you put a formula here, is equal to, select this transaction code and put again is equal to this, and this will give you false. Copy the formula till here, and then it's better I'll take this because I don't want to hide this information. I'll take this data here. Okay, here what I'll do, I will hide this. After I put everything, just click on this column, do a right click, you will find an option called hide. Click on hide. Now I will put OX15 here, this will become true. If I put wrong T code here, OX14, this will become false. Now you hide that column, don't enable it. Put the right transaction code, put it on hidden mode, put OX15 here, see if it is coming true. Similarly, you put OX02, it becomes true. Again, next one, assignment OX16. Understood, right? Clear? What new?
Yes.
Yes. Now what I want somebody to do is, anybody who understood this, right? Anybody who understood this, prepare all the configurations in the exact sequence that we did. Clear? Prepare all the transactions till consistency check in the same sequential order in an Excel sheet, and put this transaction code, put this formula, share it in the group. Share it in the group. Now download this Excel sheet, whoever is preparing and then sharing it. Make sure you will hide this like this and start writing all the transaction codes or IMG path, whatever is applicable. Got it? So one of you will work on it, or whoever is clear with this, whoever is good at the Excel sheet, prepare this and then send it in the group. The others will download that Excel sheet, practice in the similar way. You don't have to by heart, nothing is required. Just try to put the transaction codes, IMG path, whatever is there. Check the result. If you do it 2-3 times, you don't have to by heart. Automatically things will get registered on your mind. And from this sheet, you start updating the remaining masters. Just copy paste the formula like this and put the transaction code, put the heading, process, GL module, accounts payable, whatever it is. And anything that you want, you feel that this is a little tricky part, put that here, take your own test, understand you are able to remember the things in a practical way, not by hearting way. Clear? Huh?
Yes, sir, clear.
Yeah.
So then, sir, our baseline configuration or org structure is completed, right, sir?
Completed, yes.
So it starts from company creation up to consistency check. It's called baseline configuration,
Yes,
sir.
you're right. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. And sir, GL master
That is all
this
separate.
is falls
After
under.
this, we will talk about business process. That and all is your business process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it, sir.
Ivang?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I have a question, but it's not really related to this class. So I don't know if maybe I want to stop last, so it wouldn't disturb the class.
It is related to
It is related to the interview class that we did before this class.
on the asset accounting.
Yes.
That I'll answer in the morning session. Okay.
Okay. It was just an error that I was getting. I just wanted you to check it for me and see if what is going on.
Okay. That I'll check in the morning session, or you put a message to me, I will check. Because if we talk about those points here, it will lead to unnecessary confusion for others.
Yes, that's why I said I wanted to ask the question last.
Yeah. Or once I stop the recording, I'll answer your question.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Venki?
Hello. Yes,
Yes,
sir. I'm
Venki.
here. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Sir, you said that baseline configuration is completed, right? So we have not yet configured business areas, document types, number
Those
ranges.
are all
So
part of
are they
your business process.
okay?
Okay, so
Okay.
we will be discussing about them as part of our business process, how we are going to create master data, what transactions we are going to post, what kind of reports we are going to generate. At that level, we will talk about the further or additional configurations.
Okay. Sir. Okay.
Okay, so these are the settings that are mandatory to be configured from SAP point of view. If any of these settings are
Okay. Okay.
missing, it will start throwing these errors.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay, yeah.
Sir, one
Lakshmana
more
Prasad.
question I have regarding.
Yeah, yeah. Ajay, yesterday I could not get that due to network issue. Can you please explain the way, what is the main difference between valuation and translation? These are interdependent or independent? These two are just would like to high level.
Okay,
OVA one setting.
this also I will explain you once I stop the recording, because this is also not related to this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Any other questions related to this? On the baseline config, whatever we have discussed, you can ask, so that those will be part of your recording. Other points I'll explain after the recording, so that it will not create confusion. So if somebody is looking at the recording, if they might feel that we talked something about this topic, so that kind of confusion let us not create. I'll give your answers. If it is relevant to the topics that we've discussed, I'll give. If not, I'll be answering after the recording. Once we complete the transactions, once we are at the transaction posting, I will answer the other questions also. At that time, everybody is able to understand what we're talking about. Yes, Arya.
This is called org structure. Is that like right? Whatever is your basic config means it is org structure.
Yeah, correct.
Hey, hello. Uh, Ajay sir, I have one question about in a field fiscal year period. We have a different years which we will define in the fiscal year variant, like independent fiscal year, dependent fiscal year, shortened fiscal year, fiscal year. Uh, what is the difference in that? Can you explain?
When you talk about fiscal year, there are year dependent, year independent, calendar year, non-calendar year, shortened fiscal year. So overall, you will be talking about 5 type of fiscal years. Okay. If you talk about year dependent, year independent, whenever you talk about fiscal year, you are talking about accounting period or financial year, accounting cycle. From when to when you are going to report your financials. You can be talking either from April to March or from Jan to December or July to June, any 12-month period as per the local requirement or as per the accounting principle requirement. Correct?
Yes.
Majoritarily what will happen, your reporting cycle will be the fixed every year. If you take India for example, every year you have to prepare the reporting from April to March. Correct?
Okay. Yes.
If every year your reporting is the same, this is called as year independent fiscal year. Year independent means every year same fiscal year start, same fiscal year end. April to March every year, whether 2023 or 2050, you will be reporting in India as April to March unless there is any change in India. Correct?
Yes.
So these are your year independent fiscal year. Sometimes what will happen, your fiscal year start dates, end dates may be different. Let's say in this month I will start my fiscal year from April 1st till 31st March, but next year I will start my fiscal year from some other date. I will shift from April to some other month, or from 1st April to I will shift to some other date. So year on year, if I am changing my reporting cycle, reporting structure, that is your year dependent. Whenever you're talking about year dependent fiscal year is valid only for one calendar year. Next year again you have to define when to when you are going to report. Normally year dependent we don't use it, we always use year independent. Clear?
Yes.
Second one, you have calendar year, non-calendar year. This is straightforward. If your fiscal year or if your reporting is from January to December, this is called as calendar. If your reporting is equivalent to calendar, Jan to December, calendar year. If your reporting is other than calendar, other than Jan to December, you call it as non-calendar year, like your April to March, July to June. Okay. And
Yes.
the next one is your shortened fiscal year. Shortened fiscal year is a fiscal year which contains less than 12 periods. But normally we don't use this shortened fiscal year. Instead of shortened fiscal year, wherever it is applicable, you will be using full fiscal year only.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Arya?
Ajay, I want to clear, like you asked me what is a GL, so I think I never like thought about that. Every GL is one equal to one transaction, calculate like that, no? Like the rent is one GL, like salary account is one GL.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So when I like they asked in interview explain the org structure. So we need to define all the steps or how it will be.
Your org structure will represent your operating concern, controlling area, company code, chart of account, fiscal year, profit center, cost center, plant, sales organization, distribution channel, division, storage location. These points will come, which I will be explaining in a diagram point of view or in a tree point of view once we cover some more settings. Further more settings we have to understand. After that, I will give you the standard org structure templates from SAP.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, all right, fine then. So start, speed up your configurations. Make sure you are able to create minimum 2 company codes. Everyone should have minimum 2 company codes, mandatory requirement. Based on your availability, based on your timing and all, if you are able to spare more time, create more than 2 company codes, but 2 company codes is minimum required. For everybody to understand, 2 company codes is minimum required because In first company code, whatever you do, you will not understand majoritarily. Whatever you do for your first company code, you will not understand. Second company code, when you are defining, you will try to understand slowly. Okay. All right. So let me stop this recording.